Good things, Delmarva.
We are back. Thank you so much for staying with us this morning, talking with S. Renee, co-author of Self-Esteem for Dummies, also a branding expert, coach. She can get you where you're trying to be. She is here with us this morning, and we're excited to have you and talk a little bit more about Self-Esteem for Dummies. When we left off, you had brought up an excellent point, insight about it's not just women, and a lot of companies are missing the mark. And when we were off camera, we even talked a little bit about how Dove has this whole campaign about women and their natural body, and but men are suffering with some heavy self-esteem issues as well?
Absolutely. Think about it. We live in a society where you have to look a particular way, and we think only in terms of women models. But what about male models and how they're tall and they're gorgeous and they have a great physique?
Six-pack.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
You know, what about that young man who grows to be 5'3" or 5'4"? What about men that are losing their hair? What about men that don't have the sparkly white teeth? Or so they deal with some of the same issues, but we don't attack them. We don't deal with them as a society. And I think that what I've learned in my coaching practice, what I've learned in speaking with organizations around the country and some international travel, is that men have some of the same concerns. And if we don't address it, we see it, though, in the home. That's why there's an issue of abuse. That's why they abuse women. That's why in the workplace you have sometimes men that don't respect or value. Not all men, but there are still some. And it has a lot to do with what's going on inside of them.
So where do we start? I mean, I try to get up with my mantra each morning and look in the mirror and, you know, girl, you're beautiful. And, you know, but is it as, how do you really build, and I know, like you said, it's ebb and flow, but how do you kind of get there on a continuous basis? What are some first things people should be doing who are really suffering? Yeah,
you make a very valid point, because what I hear you saying is, you know, affirmations are great, but are they lasting?
Yes.
And you're exactly right. And this is what's unique about Self-Esteem for Dummies, is because in the first half of the book, we deal with that. But in the second half, we really help you to dig deep. Okay. It's really about the barriers. It's about what's going on inside of you that you've never faced, that you've never dealt with, that you've never offered a truth to. So if your mother said, you're stupid, you're dumb, or your coach said, you know, you should have made that hit, and you feel like the weight of losing is on your shoulders, and you've never let that go, and so now you're in sales, and you cannot turn that sale. Really what's going on, it's something that was spoken into your life a while ago that you have yet to acknowledge and deal with. So it's those internal barriers that doesn't allow you to be free and live a charismatic and free life. And so that's what this book helps you to do. Okay, let's get beyond the affirmations and let's go deep and dig within yourself. And that's what I think makes this book unique.
Do you find that people, once they dig into Self-Esteem for Dummies, are ready to do the work, or does the book, the first half, help you get to the second half of being ready to do the digging?
Absolutely. Well, here's what I believe. I believe that if you pick up this book is meant to be in your hands. Okay. And I believe that nothing comes to you before it's time. And that that if you pick up the book, or if you're watching this show, then you're open. And so I believe that you're ready for it. And if you, I always say, and this is something that I didn't come up with, but you've heard the saying, you know, people have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Well, if you're sick and tired, Self-Esteem for Dummies can help you to relive again and to really connect with yourself and who you really are.
All right. You talk a little bit, a lot about even on your job and with your boss, whether you, there are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies who suffer with some of this stuff too. How do we, I mean, that's kind of, you just think that's a lot to absorb, to take in. What's going on in some of these situations where we, you know, really need to get to chapter 11 and beyond, and managing our relationships at work, which was one of the chapters that was key for me. Like, people don't think about that, I don't think, do they?
Well, there's a perception that if I'm successful, I don't have self-esteem issues, that because I have money, because I have followers, because I can dance, whatever, then I don't have issues. And so, and that's simply not true. It just simply says that I have a unique talent, I have intellectual property that other people want. And that's different from what's going on inside of me. And so, and I have had the good fortune of working with vice presidents, CEOs, and I won't obviously get into names, but some people, because it is lonely at the top, there is some feelings of depression. There are some feelings of, you know, I'm not worthy to be here, and that I've made mistakes along the way, and I was in the board meeting and I lost my cool, and how can I regain myself? How can I get more grounded? And so just because you're in a great situation in the eyes of the public doesn't mean that you're in a great relationship with yourself.
All right, good word there. We're going to take another break. Come back. We're talking love, y'all. We all want to be loved and love and care, and it's a big deal. That's where a lot of our self-esteem issues come from. We'll talk a little bit about that, which is something else you delve into in the book after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.